Anybody remember where we were? First thing I want to do is to pick up on where Brother Bobby Him had left off on some things that is going around Christianity, because we're going to stay on that theme for a little while. My boy was talking about Creflo Dollar, and you got this guy, Morris Cirillo. Now, this is just the back page, the front page, and this is an old one. It says, "Does God still heal today?" Now, who he hugging on?
Black person.
He hugging on this Negro here, looking for healing. Are you kidding, Morris Cirillo? My man is like one of the top Christian lowlives out there, telling you that if you don't come to Christianity, you're going to hell. Now, this is the part that really gets you. In the middle page, what that say right there? Can the devil heal? But who they got as the devil underneath that picture? Sai Baba.
He is a healer too.
Yeah. Now check it out. You got Sai Baba, and right above him saying, "Can the devil heal?" And on the cover, he telling you that he already trashed and called Sai Baba the devil, but he gonna hug you and show on it that black man hugging on this white man, looking for healing. Now you know, as what we was just talking about, that shit is ass backwards. And right underneath, he got a picture of our voodoo doll. And he got all our archetypal symbols, with a white Moses with the serpent, Kundalini fire, the cross of entropy. And he got my boy down here. What's the name of this other Negro that be down on Oprah Winfrey all the time? Yeah, Deepak Chopra. You see his eyeballs, he look like he's insane. But when you got "Can the devil heal?" and you got these three white men talking about works of the devil exposed, and you got your boy Sai Baba and everybody who is black on the cover. Now Christianity, or what we want to call Christianity, or the fundamentalist movement, the fundamentalist movement is financed out of Buckingham Palace and the Vatican. And everything that we've been speaking about concerning Christianity so far, and again, Brother Bobby just said everything that we were talking about, that you are chaos folded over, that you are God folded over on itself, you are God in search of itself, you are God seeking the order that is your chaos within the physical body that you created to create that order, so that you may study and know yourself. And that the resurrection time is here. And that the resurrection time will happen because the blood will pick up the proper signals and energy codes from light beam transmissions that are happening as they reflect off of all kinds of star dynamics. And they're coming into your periphery right now, but that your blood will be the tuning instrument. Your blood is the tuning instrument that will begin to vibrate on frequencies that is going to break that chrysalis that we were speaking about yesterday. Now where we were, where we had left off, we spoke about the fact that the blood contains a multi-trillion year light code programming set in the DNA helix. We spoke about the fact that the government scientists now are dealing specifically with genetic science only. There is no more science on viruses, no more sciences on bacteria. It is all genetics. And why did we say that the government is focused on genetics only? Who was here yesterday? Why is the government specifically focusing on the genetics? Because the genetics is the template, and the template through which the soul expresses or unburdens itself of all the trillion-year experiences that you have to this particular point before you break through the next chrysalis. You are now cocooned. You are now inside of this brick wall of perceptions that the beast has marked you with. And what did we say that the mark was? Well, you niggas was sleeping when I was talking yesterday. What was the mark? The mark is the word. When somebody tells you to make your mark at the bottom and you can't write a lick, what do? You make a mark or an X. You make a mark until you make your mark. Well, they are telling you to make whatever insignia that represents you. Well, the beast has already marked you. There ain't no damn mark coming from no computer chip. You already been marked because you speak the language. That is the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast is the language that you use to form your perception of your reality. Once you have a particular perception of your reality and you go back to the word to form your description of your perception, you have used the mark. He has a ceiling on your perception because you use his language, you use his intonations, you use the very vibration that he uses to construct his paradigm of illusion. So if his word is God, and they told you in the beginning, where's that Bible again? Brother had the Bible. In the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, and the word was God. Did we not speak on that? Now the reason why the word is God and the word was with God is telling you specifically that in the beginning of Genesis, they tell you in the beginning. In the beginning of John, which is the same thing as in the beginning of Genesis. It is in the beginning. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And the Word was made flesh. When you speak the word, you make reference to make a perception. Once you have that perception working, that person acts upon that perception as reality. My words are now forming your perception of reality. Therefore, you are paying attention to what I have formed as your reality. That's what you've been doing since you could listen to your mother speak and take instructions from your teacher. So there is no beast coming to give you any mark. That's just to further identify who it is that's stupid enough to follow him into the grave. I'm saying to you that you are already marked with the beast, and you can erase that mark by just recognizing how you speak your reality. How you speak your reality. Now, who was here yesterday? So we have a whole bunch of new folks here that don't understand that there's a mathematics to the beast right now that's being used, and that there is a theorem and there is a particular formula, as brother said, to the specific prison that you operate in now. You are operating in a mind prison. And that means that light, which is the consciousness and awareness that you have, is only vibrating on a few octaves in your reality, so you don't know what's reality and what is not. Only what has been given to you, only what has been orchestrated for you and for your benefit. So what we're going to do now, anybody here remember what we did before? Okay, let me just explain this first. They said that the beast, or the number of the beast, is what? 6, 3 score, and 6. So 666, as we were speaking about, is the basic number code and the alignment code for star configuration of flesh. This is the particular programming that flesh uses as a light code transmission, as instructions to form the carbon molecule. And in forming the carbon molecule, instructions are now given through that carbon molecule to make man. So 666 is the specific light code formula for making flesh, or for converting chaos into order. Now, if 6 score and 6 is the basis for it, according to the specific works of the guy was telling you about, Irving Stein, if 6 score and 6 is the basic for the reality of the beast, then if we are dealing with the mark, we go back to the Word, because the Word was God, the Word was with God. And you understand that the Word is God, so if God is working through the Word, then which God are you wording? Which representation of deity are you focused through? And when you speak the language of this particular beast, who is it and what is it that you are enhancing by you aggrandizing this language? So if using the base number formula of 6 score and 6, then you go down the line as a base number of 6 for each part of this particular number equation that he uses to set the roof or to set the threshold of your reality. You deal with 6, 12, come on, help me. 24, come on. 30, 36, 42, 48, 54, 60, 66, 72, 78, 84, 90, 96, 102, 108, 114, 120, 126, 132, 138, 144, 150, 156. Now, 6 score and 6, let's put the 6 next to each one of them, and based upon the number progression of this consciousness sequence, we're dealing with the 6. So remember that a word and a thought are the same thing. That when you speak the word, you speak the thought. So if I have been given my thoughts, if my thoughts have been given an outlet through the words that the beast has given me, the way to find out how the beast keeps the ceiling on my perception is to find out which words in that languaging system vibrates or operates to 6, 3, or 9. Okay? Now, for those who weren't here, we were speaking about the mark on the beast. The mark of the beast is not a mark on the forehead, it's the mark in your forehead. The mark of the beast is a system of thought that is orchestrated by the 3 main churches, that is politics, theology, and medicine, through the use of words and the meanings that are given to them to form your consumption and perception of reality. The mark of the beast is thus a system of conditioning. It ain't got nothing to do with putting anything or chips on you. The mark of the beast is the system of conditioning. And the one who accepts the mark is the one that's got the best conditioning. So when your conditioning is now on the move, when you're on the move with your conditioning, it becomes a conditioning on the subconscious planes of your cellular reality. So cellular activity has to be programmed because the thoughts give instructions to the cells, and the cells give instructions based upon your actions to the genetics that you are. And the genetics now feed that back to the soul, and the soul knows how to form itself or to unload itself from all of the past energies that it got as a signature. So you have something in your past where you had your head chopped off, or you was killed, or you was raped. These are specific types of experiences that become signatures of experience, that become chemical energies, chemical information that your brain stores. And your genes begin to form the body based on those experiences. So, every thought creates a hypersonic sound. Every word creates a mosaic of elemental configurations. Every thought and every sound, every word creates a template or etheric tapestry of energy to match the design created by each. Words are given meaning and thus molds perceptions. Every word creates an energy that expresses itself as a geometric and mathematical progression of elemental etheric lines which set about the task of manifesting that expressed thought. I'm just catching up the people who weren't here so we can take you to the next phase. Now, the mark, if you look at the word mark in Strong's Concordance, you see it means an impression. The word mark means influence.
And you can change the way of thinking, you get another ideology. You can change the way of thinking.
But we're not even talking about ideologies, because essentially all ideologies are based upon what your perception of reality is, and we haven't even explored the perceptions of reality, because the very words that you and I are using to communicate are the words they gave us to try to explore that reality. So immediately we are operating at a deficit. Exactly, until we can now think on levels where we can send pictures to one another, and we said yesterday that pictures are worth. In other words, we cannot use words. The Caucasoid needs to use words to convey what he sees or what he can in his limited capacity perceive as reality. But remember, I told you that yesterday God is not truth. What is God? Reality. God is reality. Chaos is reality. Truth is a conditioning based upon your experience of reality. So the only thing that can see truth is man. God don't give a shit whether you believe in it or not. It don't give a shit whether you hear or not or whether you exist or not, because it is. It is reality. You set the truth context within that reality. Now, who is the one that has set the ceiling, that has set the particular parameters, that has thrown the dice into the pit for you to use? Well, the loaded dice is your language, brothers and sisters, and the language now holds the key to all of what it is that is happening to you and how you use that vibratory tone in the language to convey what you want to convey as reality. You wonder why we still over here in the wilderness of North America? Because we speak in his language. We're looking for the shit that he wants us to look for. And what did I tell you about Webster's dictionary? Hold on, if you know, don't let anybody else know. Now, using the same system, if you're dealing with the 6 as the basic number, 6, 6 scoring 6. What's W? 138. 138. Come on. 30. 12. 114. 120. What? 30. 108. What's the one? 114. All you bright mathematicians, what does that come up to? Now, using you got to use the mathematics of the beast to see how he has hidden everything. This they call the authority for the English language. If they're telling you that this is the authority for the English language, and they're dealing with the beast as a 6, 6 scoring 6, then they're telling you where they hid all the shit and why they want you speaking Webster's language. Because if you add all this shit up according to this particular formula, you got 666. We got to jump ahead. Now, the reason why you get 3 different types of realities, and this is just the beginning part. There are 3 different types of realities when you use this system. Now, if you deal with the word murder, if you deal with the formula, the word murder comes up. And what's that? 6. If you deal with the word rape, what's that come up to be? You deal with the word hate, what does that come up to be? It all comes up basically on the lower frequency, the frequency where man is trapped within the present shell of his own confused and illusory paradigm. When you deal with this 6 number here, you're dealing with the number of the yang principle, the initiatory principle. You're dealing with a principle that is seeking to escape, as Bobby was saying, from inside of that shell that was created by the paradigm of your semantics. How they gave you the semantics to cement yourself into this place. How this wall of words has structured your prison. Now, if you take words like love, what do you get? 324. What does that come up to be? 9. 9, as he was saying, is the seed number. That's the seed number for higher vibratory escape. This is the one. This is the number frequency to reach escape velocity. This is the number frequency where the child or that incubating spirit that is seeking to get out of its present confinement reaches that point, that critical mass, and escapes, breaks through the cocoon, breaks through the chrysalis. Now, there's certain words. Now, that's why, like I was saying to everybody who was here yesterday, don't start looking at everybody's names. And because your wife or your sister or your brother's names come up to 6, you all start putting marks on their door, or you all start dealing with spikes to take them out. You look at the word God. What's that come up to be? Now, what's 3? 3 is that midpoint. 3 is that point where it vacillates. 3 is neutral. Like, did you mean Hendrick said the 6 was 9? 3 is that point where it can vacillate either way. God? Which God? Which God? You look at the word kill. Kill what? Now here's the deep part. At the end in Revelations 22, at the beginning I told you the word computer. Come on, you all were here before. What? All you people here before? Now, there was a commercial out that I told you, I think, therefore, I Mac. And what's the symbol of the Mac? Not just an apple, but the apple bitten. The computer is the new Eve. Brother was sitting here and we were talking about space being a conditioned fullness, the space being how you condition it to either become the place of your paradise or the confinement of your prison. If space is a conditioned fullness, then space is the formula necessary for you to decode so you can reach escape velocity. So what does this bastard do? He creates your space. What does he create? He creates cyberspace so that the reality, what was reality again? God is reality. If God is reality, and you are the ones who defines truth as man, then the best way to make sure that you stay confined is to set up the space. And then within that space, do what? Create? To create a virtual God. Through what? symbols and words to maintain the confinement, to pollute the space you need to condition so that you could understand how to use the proper light codes, the proper frequencies, the proper elementals, so you could form that ship from within, to start that fusion process that brother was speaking about, so that you could start that nuclear reactor that you have within each one of your cells, so that you can reach escape velocity. Now in the Bible, we spoke about the fact that in Revelations 22, and I go back to this because at the beginning we spoke about the fact that they're trying to circumvent and let you think that Jesus is your Redeemer. But I told you that you were redeemed twice. The first time you were redeemed from perfection. You were redeemed from chaos. Adam was redeemed from chaos. Chaos was an imprisonment for Adam. Adam was perfect. Adam had to get the fuck out of Eden because Adam would have died. Adam had to be kicked out according to the plan, because if Adam stayed confined in Eden, Adam would have died. So Adam, or the atom, had to be ejected through that particular symbol. This is the conditioned fullness of space, that which you call God. This is the conditioning of God's search for itself. This is the atom, and all you got to do is put something around it and you'll see the same thing. From that atom, Adam had to be kicked out through nuclear fusion to begin creation, to get out of perfection, to stop dying in entropy. So when Adam was kicked out, he was redeemed from perfection. So in his redemption, who redeemed him? Nope. Lucifer. Lucifer was the first redeemer. Lucifer was the first redeemer because he took the fire, he took the light into the sludge, into the soot, that spark that brother was speaking about. He was the light bringer. He was that search for self that the Most High took into its own darkness. Let's add them up. Come on. 18, 54, 36, 30, 100. Hold it. Now I don't say nothing yet. Go ahead. 60? 114. No, we're not looking at the 3. We're looking at the sub-factor. Now wait! Oh, brother, they robbed you. Ah, here we go. Let somebody read nice and loud for me. Come on up here, brother. You look like a good Bible student from a long time ago. Now this is Revelations this is chapter 22. What that make? Verse 16. Read it out loud.
Okay. I, Jesus, have sent...
Dude, look. I who?
I, Jesus.
I who?
I, Jesus.
Keep going.
Have sent mine angel to testify unto you these things in the churches.
Yes.
I am the root and the offspring of David.
Hold that. I am the who?
I am the root and the offspring of David.
And who are you out?
And the bright and morning star.
Hold on a minute. Hold that a minute. Now, wait a minute now. I remember in my dictionary, at least, whose dictionary? My dictionary. The one that they told you was my dictionary, Webster's dictionary. They told me that Lucifer was who?
The devil.
The bright morning star. All right, read that again because I don't think they got it.
Okay.
All right?
I Jesus.
Who?
I Jesus.
I Jesus. I Jesus. Now all you Christians out there better get used to this shit. You've been worshiping Lucifer. Go ahead, I Jesus have sent mine angel
to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David.
Yes.
And the bright and morning star.
I thank you very much. Give this man a hand. What Jesus did to come back, chapter 22, verse 16 in Revelations. At the back of the book. They tucked it at the back of the book. They let you know that Jesus was Lucifer. And that both of them were lights that came to show you. One came to redeem you for perfection. One came to redeem you for your imperfection. It's all the same thing. It's God bullshitting with itself, playing around. Now, if you understand the principle of John 1:1 and why I say that the Word is God and the Word was with God, if you understand John 1:1, you don't have to read another word in the Bible. Because in John 1:1, he tells you everything you need to know. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Now check this out. I'm getting up and down again. We all clear about who Lucifer was? Everybody, Lucifer? Lucifer? Everybody, Lucifer? All right, but everybody, Lucifer? No, say it. Lucifer? Lucifer? Lucifer is my friend. Ooh. Now you know when they see that tape, motherfuckers like this are going to put a contract, a spiritual contract on me and Bobby. What they're going to do is pray for me. These motherfuckers don't want to pray for me for saying that Lucifer is my friend. Now, how many was here when I told you that the only way you're going to know the truth about anyone is to test them with the bullshit factor? You were here. Now, what did I tell you you had to do when you stand up in front of Carl McCall or when you stand up in front of Messy Jesse? Every time that motherfucker opens his mouth to say anything, what does the choir supposed to say? Yeah. Now, if you go into the halls of medicine and you go into the halls of politics and you listen to them bastards talking to you and you're supposed to be so well-mannered, while you know they're lying. You know they're lying. You're participating in this bullshit. So when you start listening to them talk this crap, why don't start with a choir and every time they open their mouth to say some dumb shit, you say bullshit in a choir. And you stay there like you know. And every time he finishes a sentence, bullshit. Because they are counting on you staying quiet and absorbing the bullshit. You understand? So now, let's look at the word. Come on.
138, 990, 108, 24.
24, right? Okay. That comes up to what? Now check this out. What does that come up to? No. Whoa. Woo. Now when they said that the Word was God and the Word was with God, they even put into this grunt same knuckle-dragging motherfuckers language, this particular appellation that still came out to tell you that everything that you want to know about your condition, everything you need to know about what's going on in your reality, 360 degrees of your reality is based in the Word. So why in hell are you looking for a mark on the outside when you already been marked? Because you can't think without thinking in his language. Stop a minute and think. Stop a minute and think. Can you think about any damn thing related to you that you're not using your English language? I don't mean all you all learning Kemet and all that shit, no. I'm talking about, can you read in your mind and think about what you're saying to yourself without speaking his language? No. So you already bear the mark. So, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So everything you need to know as your reality, 360 degrees worth of your reality, is locked up in the Word. And here's the deep part of that. Because as brother was speaking about the gold and the black, the Word contains the ore, the refined substance, the light that is titurated. So when you say you have gold ore, you got unrefined pure gold. You got unrefined pure manifesting energies that come via the Word. Now, verse 1, in the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And then here it is, verse 2, the same was in the beginning with God. Now verse 2 appears to be describing another God. Now there are two sides to God. There's the good and the evil. The number 3 being neutral and thus able to be interpreted by the Word either way. So if the Word itself is God, and they tell you that God, based upon your own representation, can be described or defined anyway, it means that the Word, which is the vibratory number of 9 or 360, can be qualified to give you whatever meaning you need to have to structure your reality. The Word that is used as thought, that becomes the spoken word, all of that is reality. In verse 3, it says, all things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. That's a neutral verse. That's a 3 verse. So it's just saying that it just explains the previous 2. In verse 4, in him was life, and the life was the light of men. So what they're saying is, in him, or the Word, was life, and the life was the light of men. So in other words, the life is the consciousness, or the light being, or translated as consciousness. So the Word was the consciousness of men. Verse 5, and the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. Now, the idea behind Webster's is to turn the light aside, to pervert the word so that the psyche operates perception through a perverted meaning of the word, or a perverted ideology of God. So you call it on Jesus Christ so he could come back and save your ass from all of the shit that you get and help pay your bills, to help heal you. And you stay in the same condition that you're in, constantly. Come on. Add it up. 10, 18, 20, and 6, 26. Come on. 8 and 2 is 10, 9, 19, 20, and 6, 26. Come on with it. Come on. Give it to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 of 40 and 6. Come on. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Come on, people. Give it to me. Add me up. 6 and 6, 12. Come on. 9, 18, 27, 28, 9, 30, 31. Come on. Now you know he wears this shit on his belt. I'm just letting you see that they operate on frequencies that you know not. And that number is the value of all frequencies, because all frequencies that vibrate on specific wavelengths have number values. So when your word is spoken, when you take the alphabet as a fragment and form a whole out of it, that particular whole becomes a harmonic that gives off a specific energy that you operate under based upon the frequency value of that number. So when you speak the word, you are speaking through the mark that was given to you as your perception of reality. This is some deep metaphysical shit. And this is the part here that we start to break down the beast in little values at a time. We don't got to know the beast is this big. We know the beast exists. We love the beast. But we know that he has an agenda to stay right where he is because he is functioning the way he needs to function. To keep your ass in check or to force you to fight. Because that which does not kill you makes you stronger. So we welcome the embrace of the beast. Come on with it. Because we know we get stronger when we fight. In that way, the mind of God, which is you, which operates in the beginning as thought, creates words through satanic perceptions based upon their reality. Remember, the numbers we are getting are based upon numbers earmarked for the 1,000-headed ass. You are meant to decipher the meaning of your reality through Webster's dictionary and its definitions of reality. Once you have that definition, you are nothing else but a clone to that particular energy that is being spoken between you and the other person. So we've been into cloning long before this motherfucker took our blood. We've been cloning an ideology constantly by taking in the shit that he gives us in the education system. We are his clones on a spiritual level. Now, you wanted to speak about what this whole thing was around blood? What we say was the word again? Let's see what the vibratory medium for the word is. Come on. Add it up. 8. That's 8? All right. Now, remember we spoke about the number 18? And the number 18 in Hebrew was what? Which meant the hook. What we're speaking about, the value of 18 is the 666. But it is the intrinsic vibration. The intrinsic vibration that creates the outer harmonic, which is 9. So I don't give a fuck how high you get in your spirituality. You will always be man, but on another value, on another frequency. So 18 was always in Kabbalah recognized as the man because you are the hooks. That's that Masonic. You are the hooks. You represent the hooks. Arms, legs, arms, head. Islam. We did Islam too. And that came out to what? Now, why we spoke about blood. Now listen carefully for those who weren't here. The blood and the blood crystals in your blood are polarizing or grounding agents for higher light awareness. These crystals focus light dynamics that bounce off of stars, that come through the sun and through other extraplanetary systems and focus down and bathe you, that gives the programming to your bloodstream. It is in your bloodstream that the beast knows holds the key to you escaping the specific reality threshold that you operate in right now. The reality threshold is based upon the programming that you have given to your bloodstream. Blood is liquid crystal light and has within its composite structure the ability to align and attune the body temple to communicate with multidimensional intelligences. Now there's a lot of people here that wasn't here yesterday, but there's one or two people that were here yesterday, and I know you all are going over it again, but it's all right because you can't hear this enough. I want to put this down for the people. Your bloodstream, just a few in, your bloodstream is a microcosmic light stream that simulates our humanity's unique consciousness programming, which flows from a galactic substation that you call Sirius. Now Sirius, Pleiades, all of them have a harmonic that is being shot to this planet. Now remember I told you that the particular sun that we have right now is not a healing sun, it's a purging sun. And that it's been giving up a serious amount of X-rays lately. Those X-rays are to elevate the feminine principle, are to expedite that feminine change inside of all of us, to start opening up the new consciousness for the new Eve. So now you're going to see whole explosions on the sun, sunbursts. It's going to change the weather. It's going to be starting to wipe out crops. It's going to change everything back into what brother called the soot. That's why you see all these fires burning. That's why you see all these floods coming. There is a serious orgasm of elementals happening here on this planet. Now your bloodstream has to be programmed so that you cannot reach escape velocity. What brother was speaking about, the fact that they are cloning bodies so that they don't have any more souls, they already started that process when they began gene therapy. The reason why they want to deal with gene therapy is because your genes hold the matrix through which you unburden the soul. If you can't unburden the soul, then you become a robot. You become an unconscious or a entity that does not have a conscience. And you don't give a shit what you do to anyone or yourself. So when you play with the genetic codes, when you start messing around with the food so people can't eat the right foods, when all your foods have specific genetic codings that are meant to keep the ceiling on your genes so that the rest of your blood cannot pick up the signals from the higher light codes, you stay in place. Then the beast can feed you anything that they want to through the television, through the movies that they have with the supersonic, super high frequency shit that they give you in the movies. What do you think all that digital shit is they give you beforehand? You ever see these movies that got this new high digital shit where the train is going through? They are opening up, they're breaking whole blood crystals in your cells. When that shit hits you, boom, it says, crash. They just perforated part of your own melanin hue. On your surface of your skin, the melanin sets up a crystalline structure that's supposed to process light. When that shit comes from those speakers, they come at subsonic values and hypersonic values. And they break that whole shit down. And then they give you that poison in the popcorn that I incidentally love. That further breaks you down. You ever wonder why you come out the theater exhausted? Think about it. You come out, well, that was a good movie, man. You're not thinking about what it is the movie is giving you, but what's behind the movie. Those new technologies are bombarding you with certain light codes. Those pixels are no longer just pixels that give you a picture, but they broadcast on the subconscious level. All right? The blood is your source of individuality. The beast knows this and intends to force you to conform by polluting the blood crystal antenna with chemical poisons he will put into your foods and your water, and by forcing you to eat genetically engineered food that is not by design originated by the Earth Mother. Now remember when I told you they had to create virtual reality because reality is God? If they create virtual reality in your cyberspace, they have to reinforce that or to support it by dealing with a virtual reality nature. So virtual reality nature will be the new genetically engineered food that goes into supporting the new genetically engineered information that you're getting by way of sound and light waves. Now you'll be dealing with whole other force and waves, which is earth waves that come in the form of food. Now, because the food no longer contains the proper ingredients that the Earth Mother herself made, it has ingredients that these beasts in their laboratories made. So now your body, if you like one of us in here, I don't know about them niggas out in the street, because I don't see, you ever see them walk around? They look like they're already zombies from the food and the wine coolers they drink. They already are there, but us, if we start eating that shit, we cannot process the information that's not going to come from books. We cannot process the information that will come via our blood crystals being fed light-coded information. When you look up into the sun, you are learning. You are picking up information. I know half of you all can't look straight into the sun anymore. That's because the kind of food that you're eating, the water that you're drinking, has completely destroyed that melanin coating, that protection, that light code decipherer that we call melanin. That's the dark matter consciousness that they're searching in outer space for black holes for. You a black hole. You are a walking composite of a black hole. Light comes directly into you. Ain't that what they say about black holes? Black holes absorb light. What do you think you do? You are the black hole. That's what's scaring the shit out of them. Like Bobby said, we are walking black holes. Every time they come next to us, if you ain't right with your melanin, they start sucking on your shit. Now you check this new one coming out with John Carpenter's Vampires. What is this whole thing around vampires? Yeah, because you ever been in a whole room full of folks, full of them, man, it's like, oh shit, my energy is like, and then you just begin to start talking nasal. And you wonder, you've been bitten on your psyche neck. Because they have to feed on you. They have to feed off of you. But let me get this down. His genetics are designed to distort the electromagnetic, solar, and cosmic synergy that natural earth-made foods support between us and the earth. The frequencies of earth are the calibrated light codes. Now check this out. Light code calibrations from the sun and from other star systems are what go into forming the consciousness that creates your food on this planet. Now if he's fucking with the very mechanism that's supposed to create that light fixture, then he's messing with your ability to interface with the earth energies, because he shuts you off. The chemical compositions of food no longer match what your body must recognize in order to feed your blood crystals to keep them strong. Therefore, you don't know what the hell you're picking up. You don't know what you're learning. Change the natural structures of food and you disconnect us from the source of our material resurrection and redemption. The source of our material resurrection and redemption. As a result, you may implant any subcellular genogenetic codes of the beast and thereby trap the soul in the body. Trap the soul in the body so that there's no hope of achieving cellular and therefore spiritual redemption, because the soul must always have an outlet for the burden. If you fucked up and you don't get a chance to get that shit out on your body in the form of cancer, in the form of asthma, in the form of heart diseases, this is the way that the genetics helps the soul to use the body as a vehicle for getting rid of all that shit so you can jump to light speed. Ain't that what they told you in Star Wars when my boy was hitting up along the side of the ship? And they said, where the fuck did he go? And then they said, oh, they're dumping all their garbage. They must be going to light speed. Yeah, they dump all their shit before they go to light speed. They told it to you in Star Wars. What do you think you holding in your belly? You holding all kind of shit that you eat. You eat all kind of chemical combinations that just fuck your brain up. And I tell you too, that you don't ever come to one of mine's or Bobby's or even Brother Dawood's speeches or lectures with a full stomach. You must be out of your fucking mind if you think you're going to learn what we say in here. Because all of your blood will start rushing down to your belly. And you'll be looking at me like this. Yeah, that's right, bro. Because the kind of information that's being given, we are alchemists. And what we do is we take the word, and instead of you just getting 33 degrees of it, we're dropping it to 180. Now, as soon as you drop it to 180, or you bring it up to 180, the frequency dynamic rushes up. It goes completely up way right now. When we start forming these words and just taking the shit and turning it all around, your brain is saying, oh shit, I ain't accustomed to the words coming at me like that. I got to hold on for a minute. Wait a minute. I got to stay awake. So now, we taking the energy and the value up, and we going to 270. This is what this is all about. To take the word and bring it 360 so that you understand how it is that the word is being used by the beast and by you who are the beasts. Because that's what we are. Come on, let's face it now. We the beast. We the beast. Ain't God doing shit to us but us. Ain't no God doing no shit to us. Ain't no devil tempting us. We the one pulling the trigger. We the one killing one another. We the one lying. We the one stealing. Ain't no devil doing shit. It's us. Lucifer is the archetype of form as the first redeemer. Lucifer marshals the divine will past the envelope of perfection. Understand what I'm saying now? Catch this. Lucifer marshals the divine will past the envelope of perfection and into the realm of infinite potential. Lucifer is said to represent the dark matter consciousness of the sixth dimension, where the involutionary mind of a contemplative creator, one who is contemplating on itself, that's what them 1 through 7 days. That was the creator contemplating on itself. It was on the 7th day that it rested. At the point where it rested or attenuated its energy, that's where chaos began to form the world of order. That's what that 7 was. So Lucifer is the herald of birth, of evolutionary consciousness. Lucifer brought the light from involutionary consciousness to evolutionary consciousness. He carries the ignorance of an unconscious principle into the realm where self-consciousness is manifested. So God is an ignorant motherfucker. He don't know shit from Shinola about itself. All it knows is that it's chaos. When God attenuates and folds over and becomes man, man now becomes the better half of God. Man is the better half of God because man is the one who knows reason. Man is the one who judges righteously. God don't give a shit. He blow a volcano up your ass in a minute. And he'll bring the floods of Noah down on your ass in a minute. And you think he gave a shit about those brothers in Papua New Guinea when he flooded them out? They were good Christians. He didn't give a shit about that. He flooded those motherfuckers up and sent them floating. And ain't it the truth now that it's all them good Christians is getting their shit blown out? All up and down where? The Bible Belt. Houses floating down the river. Churches getting blown over. Where the fuck is God? Because God don't give a shit about you. Everything that you want to know about Jesus, you made up. one searching for yourself, God. Wake the fuck up. Because you are God. So we're holding off this particular situation now. Just to close out, Christian stories of Lucifer are simply reflections of their own rise to dominance and power. Christianity was merciless, vicious, and brutal as it pillaged and raped the land and the psyches of indigenous peoples the world over. How they used the light provided by Lucifer has now been shined back on them. But in Christianity's own myopic, closed-minded dogmatism, we are made to believe that the present plagues, pestilence, and misery suffered by our ancestors and the peoples they violently converted to Christianity was the work of Satan and Lucifer, and not those bastards in Rome, who were the ones who really inflicted all the pain. Do you know that every form of torture that was ever used by the Nazis or any of the bastards around the planet that took on Christianity was learned during the Dark Ages under Christianity? Do you realize that most of Christianity during the time of the so-called Dark Ages ran over to Brother Suleiman to look for refuge from Christianity, and that these Christians were converting to Islam? Do you realize that the majority of the people in North Korea, the majority of the people in North Korea, in Korea are Islamic? Do you realize that most of the soldiers that they kicked out when they overthrew the government of Russia, do you realize that most of the soldiers that they kicked out from the USSR were Islamic? Serbs. Ooh. Not the Serbs. The Serbs were trying to kill were the people. See what was that? That ethnic cleansing shit? That was them trying to kill off the prophecy of Nostradamus. The blue sheep was supposed to rise from over there. So they were killing all the boys. The same purging of the innocents that was in the Bible under Herod. You got to remember now, they were killing off Islamic. They looked white, but they were Islamic. And if you got North Koreans that were Islamic, and if you got the government of South Korea, whose whole business economic plan was set up by Jews, what do you got? Another fucking Israel. It's the same thing happening all around, brothers and sisters. The war between the Christians and the war between Islam and the Jews has been going on for the last 300, 400, 500 years. It's the same thing folded over. It's the same game. Now I want to close out by telling you, brothers and sisters, that I'm going to be in Brooklyn to take this. I just rehashed. I had a lot of things else to speak about, but we didn't have a lot to talk about. We wanted to get to some questions and answers. Because Bobby and myself, we wanted to just kind of refine some of the shit that we were saying to you and then bring it back to you, give it back to you so you could understand it. For those of you that weren't here before, I just rehashed it so that you could get a kind of a catch-up to where we were on this mathematics of the beast. Get the particular, if you want the whole deal and how we ran it down yesterday, Sister Burt got it. She's going to edit it. And we have the whole layout of how the political system is set up, the whole religious system, as well as the medical system. We're going to get to the medical system later on down the line. So if Brother Bobby Hemmett would like to come forward at this point, we could sit up here at this point. We got to change the tape.
Show him you love y'all.